10 years ago, there was a homeless crisis in Pinellas County. People were sleeping on the steps of St. Petersburg City Hall and camping in parks and neighborhoods all over the county. That crisis led to the founding of Pinellas Hope, a temporary shelter that provides homeless men and women privacy and a safe place to leave their belongings during the day or while they are at work. Created in 2007 as a 5-month program, this innovative facility is now observing its 10th anniversary. Today on Bayside, a decade of optimism, charity, and leadership. As we celebrate, Pinellas Hope is going to be our topic. Good morning and welcome to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelly Sanders, and like I said in the open of the show, we're talking all about Pinellas Hope. Now, I told you a little bit about the organization, and I absolutely love the fact that it started out as a 5-month program, and here we are 10 years later. Talking about Pinellas Hope in your 10th year, Rhonda Abbott, you are the director of Pinellas Hope. Talk to me about it. I know I kind of alluded to it, but welcome.
It's a very exciting environment, but I must tell you that 10 years ago I happened to work at City Hall in downtown St. Petersburg, and at that time we were in a crisis with people sleeping in tents on the sidewalks, and it was a very dangerous situation due to people cooking inside of their tents, children living in the tents, and so at that time the Mayor Baker and Bishop Lynch got together, and Bishop Lynch offered 10 acres of land off of 49th Street. And so fast forward, cleared that land, put up 250 tents, and I was involved in all of that, and setting up social services for people who are homeless, and we just started taking people in at that time. Fast forward 10 years later, I was hired there as a director a year ago, so it seems like it's all, you know, been somehow meant to be. And we have expanded so much. There are so many wonderful services going on there just in 10 years, and we serve thousands of people since then.
That's incredible. And, you know, we were talking even before the show started as we're getting mic'd up. I mean, we could have an hour-long show and still not address everything, which is, it's almost ironic, isn't it? Considering it started out as a 5-month program.
It did. And so at 5 months, we were like, oh no, we need more time. We need to extend it more. And so we started reaching out to different governmental agencies, to churches, to other organizations to help support us. And then it was a 12-month program, and then it just kept continuing. But the county was very much involved. Many of the cities assisted financially, but the churches stepped up to prepare meals every single night for all of these people in their church kitchen, bring the food in, put it in a warming area trailer, and then feed people underneath a great huge tent. That's how it started. And today we still have the warming kitchen, but it's much larger. We're looking now at doing some remodeling there and starting a culinary skills training for our residents. But we still have those churches involved to this day, 10 years later.
So it's actually run by Catholic Charities.
It is run by Catholic Charities, the Diocese of St. Petersburg, and since then we now have Pinellas County Schools on site, and 4 teachers that provide remediation and preparation for people to get their GED. So that's part of it. Case management, medical respite services. There's just so many things that we're able to provide people.
So it goes well beyond just the thought of, okay, this is a place for our homeless. That was a big hot button topic. If you lived around here 10 years ago, you remember you couldn't turn on the news without hearing about Tent City and all the issues and surrounding the homeless situation in St. Petersburg. But it goes beyond just having a place for them to come and stay for the evening. It goes beyond than just going, having a place to stay, and now we're feeding you. It sounds like, I mean, you've gone full come full
Yes.
circle, and now your plans are training, giving them skills, much more than just room and board.
Excellent. And the goal truly is, you know, it's not a forever place. The emergency shelter is a limited stay, but you know, it's all based on people's individual needs and what services that we can wrap around them to have them gain self-sufficiency. Wow. We also have on the acreage, we have 156 apartments, units,
wow,
that people can graduate to, if you will, and they can stay there forever. They sign a lease. Many people work. Some people, you know, get Social Security, and so it's not only the emergency camp, which is almost 200 people. It's
wow,
also 156 units in the back part of the property as well. So again, services. We're truly wraparound. There are so many services provided to get, you know, people gain self-sufficiency. You know, they gain all of their self-respect, their self-motivation, self-integrity, and are, you know, full again.
Absolutely, and I understand. I mean, it goes even further than that. We've got to take a short break, but you even have won awards for your medical respite.
Yes, we have. We just won a statewide award
program. Incredible. We are going to get more into that, but first we do have to take a short break. So you at home, you can always go to their website in the meantime, and that's pinellashope.org. You're looking at it right there. We'll have a link for you on our website as well.
Community Benefit Achievement, over 150 beds. Baycare Medical Respite Program at Pinellas Hope.
Pinellas Hope is more than a shelter. It's really a place of transition where people can come, they can recoup, they can find their way back into society again. When we talk about the community, we care for our people before they come into the hospital and after they leave. I believe humanity at work is seen here at Pinellas Hope. It's more than words. It really is caring for humanity. And that part of humanity that many people ignore is the humanity that we have to care for. Quality, compassionate care that we must give to everyone, and is done here and is seen here and is lived out at Pinellas Hope and in our medical respite. That's why it's Pinellas Hope. It gives hope to those people who have maybe lost some of it. And it's our way of caring for all of humanity.
Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelley Sanders. We've been talking all about Pinellas Hope. We've been doing that with their director, Miss Rhonda Abbott. And now joining us, we have Tom Olney. You are a benefactor, a volunteer. Your real life, your job, so to speak, is you're Vice President of Learning and Architecture there at PSCU, correct? Right. So that being said, you do a lot of work with Pinellas Hope. You're an active member in your church. Tell me about this. The reason I bring this up is because, yes, this organization is driven by Catholic Charities, but it's interesting, you're not part of a Catholic church.
That's right. So I'm a member and also a deacon at Calvary Church, the big one with the big cross on McMullen Booth and Drew Street.
Sure.
And I first got involved with Rhonda working from my job, and we were looking at something to do with about 80 volunteers to do something significant in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. Homelessness is a huge issue in Pinellas County, and the whole Bay Area is one of the largest, has one of the largest populations of homeless in the entire country. So we wanted to do something significant with about 80 people, and that's when Rhonda and I met, mm-hmm. and had a chance to work with her this past summer. Since that started, we've had multiple chances to get involved doing not only community service work, but also some fundraising as well.
And for you at home, I just bring this up because I think it's important to know that it's not about you have to be part of a Catholic church, be a Catholic in order to come and help out and be a part of this, because I love what you said during the break. This is not only based around one faith, one particular faith. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a humanity issue, not just a faith issue. So let's talk about PSCU for just a second. Not only are you, this is where you work, not only are you involved heavily with Pinellas Hope, but you've also, it's become your work's mission as well, almost. So talk to me a little bit about that and their partnership.
Sure. So PSCU is a credit union service organization, and we have a strong commitment to the community. One of our mottos for the credit unions also is people helping people. So we encourage employees. In fact, we even give 2 paid days towards every employee to volunteer in whichever community organization that they support. So I've, of course, been really working to encourage people to come out and work at Pinellas Hope. They're a neighbor, we're close by, and there's just so many opportunities. In fact, we saw the respite center, and my team came out and painted that. So that was our last time out there, and really looking forward to seeing what you guys have done with that now that that's finished.
So, Rhonda, talk to me a little bit about the importance of having a community partner like PSCU.
Well, I don't know that we would be able to survive without the community support. We have a very strong internal community at Pinellas Hope, but our external community is just phenomenal. And it's like people like Tom and so many others who give every single day to you know, our organization. And it's just, in fact, when they came out for their day of training or their day of volunteer, they furnished every single apartment in one of our buildings, 14 units, with brand new furniture. And they came out, put it together. It was a phenomenal day. And and then at the same time, they got on the phones and raised money on top of buying all the furniture. So it was a huge, huge day for us, and just really hit home that if it weren't for our community, it really, we wouldn't be as successful as we are.
Sure. Now, you've brought with you some photographs we're looking at right here. So tell us a little bit about what we're seeing.
Well, these are our tents, and some of the folks who have lived there in the past. And as you could see from some of the photos that were aired earlier, we are now taking shipping containers and building those into 3 separate units that are air conditioned, locked, have light in them. So we are transferring from the tents to these cottages. And so that's what some of the footage you saw earlier. We have a bike program. Everybody who has a job can get a bike, a huge clothes closet. I'll put that up against any thrift store we have. This looks like it's the school teachers, or no, this is the kitchen, the warming kitchen. That's the inside of one of our units. And people can decorate however they want to. Again, the warming kitchen. Food is central to our health.
Sure. Goodness, without a meal.
Yeah.
It's incredible the ripple effect of just what hunger can do to from mental state to just a literal physical aspect, just life in general.
Absolutely.
So really quickly, we do have to take a short break and have another guest to bring on. But Tom, tell me if you could leave a sentence with our viewers. Why do you do this?
Sure. When I looked to see what Pinellas Hope was doing, to me it reminded me of the story of the Good Samaritan. And the Good Samaritan stopped.
Sure.
And how can you not get behind an organization that's looking to prop up the people who are in need and need emergency help to get back on their feet?
Well said, well said. All right, so you want to check out pinellashope.org. That is the website that you're going to go to. It's going to answer all the questions you may have. We'll also have a link for you on our website, cw44.com, so in case you get lost and can't remember pinellashope.org, we'll have it for you there. We'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelley Sanders. We've been talking all about Pinellas Hope. And of course, we've got our director of Pinellas Hope still with us, Ms. Rhonda Abbott, but now you're joined by the executive director of Catholic Charities. Welcome to the show, Mark Dufra.
Thank you.
Very nice to have you here. So talk to us a little bit about your role, the Catholic Charities role in Pinellas Hope.
Obviously, Catholic Charities, it all begins with our bishop, now Bishop Gregory Parks, previously the foundation, as you've already talked about 10 years ago, Bishop Robert Lynch, and our responsibility as a church to serve those on the periphery of society. I mean, that's our calling. It's part of being a faith organization that works well with government, that knows how to serve the poorest and most vulnerable people in our community and help solve the problems.
So it's a natural fit already in its beginnings.
Yes, natural fit all the way 2,000 years ago, our natural beginnings. We always look to, I always make reference to Pope Francis and how he, in his messages, calls us to serve those most vulnerable people. And Pinellas Hope is just symbolic of what we're supposed to do. And always as a reminder, you said, it does not matter what faith they are. It's people of all goodwill. We will help them regardless of their faith.
Absolutely. It's about humanity at the end of the day. Are you now watching this over the last 10 years just evolve to where it is now? How does that feel as the executive director of Catholic Charities, helping to button this up, if you will?
Well, as you know, complex challenges of homelessness, then I'm sure you've already talked about the conditions that the homeless face. And I think what's really stepped up over the last few years, and particularly with Rhonda's leadership now in the last few months and year, is how innovative we've gotten. Hope Cottages being one of those ideas that you've talked about. And then the whole intervention about solving their homeless problem, to really being intensive in their case management, to being passionate in their service, to get people motivated to move to jobs, you know, to get their income increased so that they find a place to live. We are in the business of solving the homeless problem for Pinellas County.
And Rhoda, okay, that's a huge undertaking, and I know in the beginning stages, just like we've discussed, how it began sort of humble and on looking back, a very small scale, thinking, oh, we'll do this, or we'll take care of that. It's something temporary. And then now here you are, and knowing some of the visions that you have. Can you share those and the exciting things that are taking place?
Yeah, how much time do we have?
Right.
It's, you know what, and it really starts with our staff. You know, our staff are so passionate, so dedicated, and so driven, and we just, whatever we see that needs to be done, we're doing it. I believe that the environment around people have a lot to do with how successful they can be, and so that has been one of our efforts, is just really to not only maintain what we have, but to continue to improve the services, the environment, just everything about the camp itself. Lots of visions, work skills training, culinary training. Chris Pont of Cafe Pont, he's been integral, so we're engaging with chefs to get that off the ground. That's one of our visions. That's one of many.
Just one of many visions. But I find that that's part of what is so fascinating about Pinellas Hope, and that, okay, you don't just provide shelter, you don't just provide food, you're starting to equip them with necessary means that it's beyond just the staples of what makes life happen, but you're going so far as education, gearing them with skills, creating that place sort of halfway between the hospital and where do you go from there, when really they aren't totally ready to be just released from a hospital. Just so many fascinating things. It's exciting from an outsider's perspective looking in to see just exactly where all you will take this, and I hope that you guys do come back and share with us, and who knows how many years down the road we'll be, and you could be spearheading an event, an organization that could be the model for a nationwide organization. I mean, do you feel that way?
Oh, we get calls. We get calls a lot from around the nation. You know, in fact, I'm engaged with someone right now who wants to come down and take a look at what we're doing. It is very exciting because it is a model that's a combination of a wide variety of approaches, and that's, I believe, it's really a one-stop shop.
Sure.
Yeah.
So really quickly, how can our viewers help out?
You know, just by going to our website that's been aired, volunteering,
financial donations,
financial donations.
Okay, so the list goes on, and you're looking at the website of where to find out how you can help out. Right there, it's PinellasHope.org. We'll have a link for you on CW44.com. Check it out. As always, I want to thank you at home for joining us this week on Bayside, and thank you guys for being here so much. And it's so nice to see the journey along the way that Pinellas Hope is going on. I'll keep an eye out for you. Again, I tell you every week, get out, get involved in your community, PinellasHope.org. That's the website. Check it out.